Okay, hello to everyone again. This is the second part to nutrition. I hope you had some luck with the calorie calculator and exploring the MyFitnessPal. We're going to take that a step further today. So let's get started on that. Protein. In the earlier introduction to nutrition, we looked at the calorie equation and ways to estimate calorie requirements and intakes. In this module, I want to talk about protein and give you a method of calculating protein requirements while you are on the exercise regime that we're embarking on. When we exercise a muscle, and in particular when we use resistance training especially to strengthen a muscle, we are effectively breaking down that muscle tissue in readiness for a process of rest and repair, and after this the muscle becomes stronger. Protein is critical to this muscle repair and strengthening process. Think of carbohydrates and fats as the fuel and protein as the building blocks of your training. And by the way, those three elements are called macronutrients: protein, carbohydrates and fats. Now, this particular module we're looking at protein, as that's really one of the most critical when you are doing any kind of exercise. Calculating your protein requirement is the starting point in putting together a nutrition plan to support your exercise program. There is a lot of debate over the exact quantity of protein required by our body, whether exercising or not, in fact. However, for simplicity and for the purposes of this workshop, I'm going to suggest a nice round number, and I'm also going to work in both pounds and in kilograms and leave it up to you to decide which you yourself prefer to work with. To support your training, we will work with 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That equates to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Task 1 of this module is to work out your training protein requirements. So if you're going to do that in pounds, then you multiply by 1. If you're doing it in kilograms, you multiply it by 2.2 to get the grams of protein. Having worked out the quantity of protein in grams, we now calculate the calorie value of this protein. There are roughly 4 calories in 1 gram of protein. So to calculate the calories of protein, you multiply your protein requirements in grams by 4. Task 2 is to calculate the proportion of calories you require in protein, and that means you simply multiply the result of that last task 1 by 4. Now that you know how many calories in total you require, that's from the last nutrition module, and how many of those calories need to be protein, which you've just worked out, then the remainder can be made up of any food you like. Yes, that's correct, any food you like. At this stage in the journey, rather than calculating carbs and fats, you can eat the food that you want to eat for the remaining calories, as long as you stay within the calorie target. If your goal is to lose weight and you are working on a calorie equation deficit, then once you have accounted for the protein required to support your training, the remaining calories within that deficit can be anything you like, and you will lose weight. You'll become aware when you are tracking the remaining calories that foods containing more fat content also account for more calories, because there are 9 calories in a gram of fat as opposed to 4 calories per gram of either protein or carbohydrates. As long as you stay within your target, you can eat and drink the foods you enjoy, and that is a big thing. Enjoying your food will be a big factor in creating a diet you will continue with, perhaps forever. So I'm going to wish you the best of luck with that, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.